Oh, no. So if you're a faithful watcher of this channel, you probably noticed that there was a bit of a gap between the last video I posted and the video before that. Now, part of that was writer's block, but another big part of it was that a wonderful violin shop in Washington State, known as Kennedy Violins, asked me to do a review of some of their instruments. So they sent me 3 different violins to try out, and okay, so yeah, I don't like this at all. I really only liked one of them. Ironically enough, that one happened to be the cheapest one. So if you're in the market for a really good beginner instrument, the link to that will be in the description below. But every violin shop's gonna have something that you may not particularly like. Doesn't mean the violin shop is bad or that you shouldn't shop there. So I asked them if we could do a redo. So today I'm going to be reviewing 2 more of their violins, and as you might have guessed by the fact I'm actually posting this video, I like these a lot. Let's jump into it. I think definitely the first one I want to try is the Dolphin. I think this is a Strad copy. So the Dolphin is a particularly famous Stradivarius violin. I think either Ray Chen played on it for a while, or he is playing on it. I know, I'll have to check the email that they sent me, but the original Dolphin has something to do with Ray Chen, and apparently Ray Chen has tried this model and he quite liked it. Let's see if I agree with him. It's nice and light. Immediate impressions, I already like the sound of the open strings. Very light, feels just very nice to hold. Seems a bit smaller, which would make sense if it's directly copied off of a Strad. For those of you who don't know, violins from over a few hundred years ago actually tend to be slightly smaller than modern day violins, which for some people that makes them a little bit more comfortable to play. All looks very, very beautiful, but let's find out how it sounds. Okay, so first impressions, like I mentioned before, it's a bit smaller than the violin that I'm used to playing on, so and this has nothing to do with the quality of the instrument. This is just something you'll have to get used to. I have to recalibrate the spacing of my fingers because it is slightly different. It's very even across the entire instrument from G string all the way to the E string. Plays very nicely on all strings, including the G string. Very nice sound way up here. It's very bright. It's very brassy, not in a bad way. Very easy to play. The only thing I would have a gripe about is that it's what I would consider it to be a somewhat single dimension sound. Just not a lot of depth to the sound. Sometimes you'll find a violin that'll have like multiple dimensions and you can just spend hours and hours just finding all the little possible sounds and resonances that it can make. This is really good. It's a really good violin, but it is missing that. And for, how much does it cost again? Okay, this is less than $4,000. So yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't expect it to have that real depth of tone, but is it worth $4,000? It's worth more than $4,000. I would say. I was kind of expecting this to be. I did not check the price before I started playing it. I was actually expecting this to be more along the lines of like close to 8,000 or something like that. So yeah, this for less, a few hundred less than $4,000. That's kind of a steal. Anyway, yeah, would I recommend a student that is getting into an advanced level get an instrument like this? 100%. Really good violin. Again, you have to get used to the size of the instrument if you're a bit of a smaller person, unlike me, but dang, yeah, this is really a fantastic instrument. Okay, so the next instrument they sent me is by Nicholas Gand. Not familiar with that maker. It doesn't quite look as nice as the other one, but you know, the proof is in how it sounds. So let's get this thing tuned up and see what we're working with. well, that took forever. Again, I don't know if it'll always be that difficult to tune, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Anyway, let's see how it plays. Okay, so immediately, again, I'm feeling less power. It's a nice sound. No issues with the sound here. But you can tell immediately, like just from the moment you play, you're not getting the same kind of bite to the sound. And I'm a big fan of sort of the Zuckerman articulation. I don't know if maybe if a different bridge was on here. The bridge doesn't look particularly low though, so not quite sure what's causing that action. Again, very nice sound. I don't have a problem with the sound. It's just, it's not wanting to let me bite the string. So I don't know enough about violin making to know what causes that sort of little bit of a lack in articulation. But again, otherwise, so far, it sounds very nice. Yeah, it doesn't quite respond. Feels a little bit more difficult to play. Something about maybe the shape of the bridge. Again, that could be just something you have to get used to, similar to the size difference in the other one. So that's not really a big deal, but it does feel like you have to work a little harder than I would like in order to get out a sound. But again, this is actually about the price that the other one was, right? Is about what I would expect, maybe between 3,000 or 4,000 is about what I would expect for this violin. Again, not a bad violin. Definitely, I'd say a student violin, kind of a slightly higher level student violin, but still quite good. Still quite good. Again, my estimate for what I think this would cost would be something in the 3,000 to 4,000 range, but let's find out. Okay, so this is actually just under $1,000. Again, is this worth just under 1,000? Yes, this is definitely worth this is definitely worth just under $1,000. I don't know what they were doing when they sent me some of the violins they sent me before, because I really did not like them very much, but these are great, like both of these. And I'm not just saying that because they wanted me to do the review again. They're actually not paying me anything directly to say this. There will be affiliate links, right, if you want to try out some of these violins by yourself. But once again, if you order a violin from them, you can send it back, right, if you don't like it. So it's not like I'm tricking you into buying anything you won't like. But again, these are actually really, really great fiddles. Really good for the price. And yeah, so if you're in the market for kind of an upper intermediate, or you're just starting to get into more advanced level violins, then I would definitely check out these two fiddles. But what about that violin I said I did like from the previous batch of fiddles they sent me? Well, I don't have the violin anymore, so I'm just going to replay that part of the video that I recorded last time. So the first violin they have sent me is the Antonio Giuliani Etude series. This is very much a beginner violin, and the entire outfit, that includes the violin, of course, and a bow, and a very nice case, actually, clocks in at $460. Now, I know that's not an insignificant amount of money, but for a good quality beginner violin, that is actually a very good price. Please, whatever you do, if you're looking to get into playing the violin, either rent if you don't want to spend that much money, or just save up and get something of good quality. Please don't buy a cheap violin off Amazon. I know it's really tempting, but trust me, you're really rolling the dice with that one. But, important question, is it actually worth the $460? Let's find out. Okay, I am actually shocked. This is actually a really solid violin. Now, whenever you're evaluating a violin, if you're in the market for one, there's three things that you want to look out for. The first thing is just how it's constructed. You can kind of tell how well it's put together. Now, this is very clearly, it looks to me like it's factory made, which doesn't necessarily mean, it's going to be low quality. It's obviously going to be a beginner instrument, which it is, but You can tell whether or not some care has been put into the construction, and it looks like a factory-made violin. It's kind of got that real thick sort of lacquer varnish to it, which to me almost, when I played it, sounded like it was kind of covering up an even better violin that's like hidden in there, you know. But it is what it is. You can see that, you know, the scroll, the way it's made is, you know, pretty rudimentary, but nothing wrong with anything in the way it's constructed, so no problems there. The second thing that I always look for is, of course, the tone, and as I've just demonstrated, has a really great sound, especially considering the price point, and it's very evenly balanced across all four strings. And the third and final thing that you want to think about when trying out a potential new instrument is the ease of playability. Some violins, they actually sound pretty good, but you kind of have to work really hard to get much sound out of them. And this violin, it really doesn't make me work for the sound much at all. And honestly, the price for what it's at, this is honestly one of the best deals I think I've ever seen for a violin. So yeah, I don't know if this was just a fluke, if this was just this particular violin that they sent me. I don't know if every single Antonio Giuliani Etude series is going to be as good as this, but if they are, you honestly couldn't do better than this as a beginner. Anyway, thank you to Kennedy Violins for sending me these wonderful violins to try out. Much better experience this time, and I really did like them a lot. So please check out Kennedy Violins. Links to all of the instruments in this video will be in the description below. I've been Tobias Murphy for Murphy Music Academy, always here to remind you there is no pleasure in mediocrity. Happy practicing, and I'll see you next time.